So here we are, folks. It's 9 o'clock on a Monday night. It's not actually, it's 3 minutes past 9. Massive shout out to everyone who's here live. Going to give you a shout out individually. Huge thanks to those who are listening on the audio experience on iTunes or Spotify on the replay. This is actually the 314th broadcast on a Monday night that we've done, guys. Some people on here have been here literally since the beginning as well. Like maybe not on every single one, but there are some people who have been here for like hundreds of these broadcasts. Hugely appreciate you. If you're here brand new tonight, because I've had in the last, do you know what? ActsOnThis.tv is blowing up. The website is going crazy. In the last 2 weeks alone, over 1,000 people have signed up for the email list. Over 100 people have signed up to be premium members of ActsOnThis.tv. Community's blowing up. So there's going to be a lot of new people who are getting emails from me for the first time. Like I was just saying, hugely appreciate you giving me your time. I do this every Monday night, 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. Ultimately, we just get on, huge group of us, we just chat about the acts industry. People can put their questions forward, where they're at, get advice, we all chip in. Super supportive community. Not saying anybody's got all the answers, but, together we're certainly more capable. Between us, we can generally figure out anything in the industry to a certain extent. So shout out to Wendy. Brian's in the house. How you doing, Brian? Great to see you. Lee Martin, Lucy Richardson. Lucy, how you doing? Chris Hampson's just joined. Scott's here as well. Tony Rossi from Chicago. James Halifax. Inez, Anna, Wendy, James. Try and give everyone a shout out here. Adam, Dawn, Linda, Angie, Dougal, Lee, Andrea, Alex, Bernard, Sarah Jane, Bess. Thanks so much. And like I say, for those who are listening on the replay, if you're just joining new, by the way, and you want to go and watch any of the previous replays of these broadcasts that I do, they're completely free. Every single one of them is available on iTunes. Well, actually, they're not all available because the catalogue on iTunes, it deletes them when you get to like 200. So like roughly the last 200 of these are on iTunes. Just search for Acts on This TV, all one word, and you'll find the Acts on This TV audio experience. Same on Spotify as well. You'll find it on SoundCloud. You'll find it on Stitcher, basically anywhere you get podcasts, pretty much. You'll find it. And if you go to youtube.com/Acts on This TV, you can watch the videos as well. But I know a lot of people like to catch up on this kind of stuff via audio. Ollie Reynolds in the house. How you doing, Ollie? So tonight, we'll talk about a few things. It's going to be a bit of an open chat. Everyone can put their stuff forward, any topics, anything you need help with. Remember, there are no stupid questions, bar the ones you don't ask. Please ask whatever you want tonight. Don't let me go at 10 o'clock if you've not asked something about your acting career. Over on actsonthis.tv, so that's a site that I run. I'll just bring the website up. There's been a lot of talk tonight so we have you've got the Facebook group and you're probably in it now, but over on the site, if you join the website, you become a premium member. In the members area, you've got a private community. This is where people kind of talk about the real stuff. There's been quite a lot of people in here. I won't hold for long on these forum topics who've been talking about agents tonight, and this is something that I thought we should have a little discussion on, because a lot of people don't want to talk about agents, particularly in public, because they think, it's a sensitive topic, I'm going to upset somebody, I can't possibly question my agent or talk about the relationship with my agent or anything about agents whatsoever, because what if my agents find out and I'll rock the boat and blah, 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 blah. It's so important, your agent, in your acting career, and any agent worth the salt. My agent, James, is lovely. We can sit and talk about absolutely anything. If, a lot of the time I talk to for too long and just basically right, I better get off the phone now. But it's really important that you have that kind of relationship with your agent. A lot of people right now either don't have one, or the one that they're with, there's been quite a bit of talk in the forums and just at the Acts on This meetups recently, that people aren't sure, they're not 100% whether they're happy or not, or whether it's, working. And I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that people just aren't communicating. So neither party knows if it's working, because, I guess their agent thinks that the client is happy because they're not saying anything. The client doesn't want to say anything because doesn't want to upset the agent. And thus, maybe there's a bit of out of sight, out of mind as well. And people don't just communicate. I think it's always better, isn't it, to over-communicate everything. Sometimes I'll put the phone down from someone, I'll think, shit, you know what? I just need to say there was something else I didn't ask, or I should have made clearer. I'm going to ring up and I'm going to make sure I over-communicate this point, whether that's what I want to be put forward for. Doesn't even have to be in my acting career. But I just think honesty and open communication is massive. So what I'm doing tomorrow, and this is just, I'm so freaking excited about this. So, obviously, there's people who might not even know this, right? But I create hours and hours and hours worth of podcasts and video interviews with the biggest casting directors in the industry, actors, agents, writers, producers in the TV industry. And normally these are podcasts where I just sit down one-to-one or one-to-many So I've been doing these roundtables soon that you're going to start seeing on the site, where I have 3 guests, which are brilliant. The first one's around a BBC drama called Dark Money. I've got Jill Halfpenny, the casting director Victor Jenkins on that, and the great director Lewis Arnold, who is responsible for Broadchurch. He's directed Humans, Cleaning Up with Sheridan Smith. It's just a wicked education from all corners of the industry. But they're all kind of like, me on my own in a studio with these guys, and I often ask them questions sent from you. You give me your questions via email, etc., and I will put those forward. Things are going to change, right? I've got a brand new setup, and from tomorrow, this is going to be the first one. This is for premium members only. If you've not got a premium membership, again, go and get it. It's £2.50 a week. I absolutely have no shame in telling people to get their ass in gear and go and get a membership. I'm not ripping anybody off. This money is supporting the site, this community, and some great charities as well. But from tomorrow, premium members, and you can do this now, you can email me, ross@actsonthis.tv. I'm going to be doing a podcast with, let me get the image up. Is it? Oh, I don't know if it's this image. Uh-oh. Did you see that? That was a bit of a Pets at Home commercial that I did recently. No, it's this image. I'll play you that in a minute if you want. I don't even know why I have that on my desktop. It's a voiceover I did. I've got this guy. This is an agent from PHA, Icon, PHA, fantastic Manchester-based agency. This guy's called Archie Purnell. He's actually an ex-actor turned agent. He was a member of Acts on This for quite some time, probably still got a membership somewhere. He's coming around to my apartment tomorrow. Petch, who's just joined here, Lee Petcher. This is Petch's agent as well. I've seen this guy change Petch's career around in 3 weeks as well, which is a little bit mental. I've got Archie coming around to the apartment tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a podcast with him. I'm probably going to sit and chat for about 90 minutes, but you guys are going to be involved. So premium members can email me a question, ross@actsonthis.tv, put your mobile number in that email, right? I'm not going to save your mobile number or anything like that. Don't worry, I'm not some crazy stalker. I'm going to put your questions to Archie. Well, actually, I'm not. You're going to put your questions to Archie live on the podcast. Effectively, these podcasts now are going to become phone-ins. There can be so many of them that are going to be like, right, I want you to talk direct to these agents, to these casting directors, to these directors who, to be blunt, if you're starting off your acting career, you pretty much have a cat and L's chance of actually being able to speak to these people. I'm going to try and sort that out so that you can do that from the comfort of your own home. So if you do have a question, a burning question for an agent, I've done quite a lot of other podcasts as well with agents, by the way. This isn't the first one. If we go over to the site, if you click in, this is from the members area, if you click up here, third little tag down, features with agents, I think there's 4 in here already. Alex Priestley, awesome agent. We've got Guy Howe, wicked agent. My own agent, Jane, and my own voiceover agent, Hannah Ralph from the Voiceover Gallery. There's already 4 fantastic podcasts in there, all on agency and how you get an agent, how you should work with your agent, how you nurture the relationship with your agent. These are all like an hour plus long interviews that you can listen to anytime, anywhere, on the go. But yeah, from tomorrow, like I say, this is going to be the first one where you guys are going to get a chance to chat. Like literally just ring up, we're going to phone you. Me and Petch tested it out last night. It works beautifully. And put your questions forward. So if you are a premium member of actsonthis.tv or you're not, go and get one. Go and get a premium membership. And then email ross@actsonthis.tv, or you will find a post, I think, even in the private community we've got there. You can leave your question underneath. But if you email me, it's a bit better because I keep them all in one place. Dougal Ramsey, so Archie's Dougal's agent as well. He's a popular guy, isn't he? Bobby's just joined us. How are we doing, Bobby? Gemma's here as well. So excited for this, says Gemma. I looked the other day to listen. When's it coming out? So it'll be out because we're filming it as well as part of the vlog. Me and Petch are going to do a vlog episode tomorrow that you'll be able to find on youtube.com/watchross. That's where all the behind the scenes of these podcasts are. We're getting to the end of season 4 on there. I think we've got Petch, what have we got? 1 episode, 2 episodes to film before this season is out. And then, I don't know, we're going to mix it up next season. Maybe we'll do, I don't know, some kind of proper phone-in show or something. It's down to you lot. I mean, I just need to know what you want, ultimately. I'm kind of guessing what you want and try to give you what I think you want, or try to give you what I would want. If I was, this is stuff that I would want. I would, I'd get involved with this. Like, I am involved with it, but if I wasn't, I'd get involved with it. Definitely. Keith's in the house. All right, Keith, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. Steve Connolly's here as well. So yeah, so where are people at in general, agent-wise? Let me know. You don't have to mention which agent you're with. You don't have to mention whether you're happy or whether you're not. Just watch it, or if you are super happy, tell me why. Like, how are you nurturing the relationship with your agent? Because when I speak to actors who come to the Acts on This meetups, and if you are not aware of those, we do those on the first Saturday of every month, both in Manchester and London. I host the Manchester one. Wendy, who's on here, is just like, she'll be on the Great British Bake Off, hosts the London one, takes some amazing cakes with her. She's wicked. They host Mel and Wendy host the London one, and we do it on the first Saturday of every month, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. The Manchester one's at Home Theatre. The London one is at the BFI on South Bank, Benugo Bar there. But when I speak to people about agents, the problem half the time is people go, "Oh, I've not heard from my agent in a year." I'm like, "Holy shit!" Right? I mean, one, you're not had an audition in a year. That's not great because this is supposed to be your career. But two, if people haven't even spoke to their agent in a year, and I'm like, they're not your agent anymore. Then if you not spoke to me within you speak to them like every couple of months, really, at least via email. It doesn't have to necessarily be on the phone. Steve says, I've got a lovely agent, Andrea Price. She's great. I don't know Andrea, Steve, but I know you're a harsh critic, so if you say she's great, she's great. Instead of you calling just one actor, if you know what you're saying here, Alex, how about something similar to radio chat show where you can phone? Oh, mate, no, we're phoning loads of actors. I'm not just phoning one. You can't phone in because you're not going to know, because it's not going out live on the internet. This is for premium members only, so it's recorded and then uploaded to the members area for you to listen to in your own time, because there'll be people who can't make it if it was live anyway. We're not just going to phone one, mate. No, I must have received about 60 emails so far. I can't ring 60. I'm going to go down and we're going to do as many as we can within 90 minutes. I'm going to do an initial 15, 20-minute get-to-know Archie chat for you lot, so you know who he is, where his background is, how he's working nowadays. And then we're just going to go, right, let's go. Let's try and, phone as many people as we can. I imagine each chat would probably last 6-7 minutes or something like that. So maybe we'll be able to get, I don't know, I think optimistically 6 or 7 calls in at a time. But we're going to be doing it tomorrow about 7 p.m. till about 8:30. So if you have submitted a question and sent me your number, don't you go ignoring the phone call, because we'll leave you a message and go, this was the biggest mistake you made in your life. We won't be phoning anybody back. It's a proper radio show competition, isn't it, where you have to pick up. We should have a keyword. You have to pick it up and say something in order to win the prize, but we don't have any prizes. Tonight's topic, Caroline, we're talking about agents at the moment. We're talking about a podcast that I'm doing tomorrow night that's interactive for premium members of actsonthis.tv, where you can email me, ross@actsonthis.tv, with your question about agents, and I'm going to choose about 6 or 7 actors tomorrow night to phone up while I'm recording this podcast, and you're going to get to speak to the agent, Archie Purnell from PHA Icon, live. And he's so good as well. He'll give you wicked advice, proper, honest. And the guy's a hustler. Like I say, I've seen him, cameraman Petch, I've seen him transform this guy's career. The shit that he's been auditioning for, well, no, I should say that I've been helping him audition for. I'm going to start, he charges me as a cameraman, right? I'm going to start charging him for self-tapes. He sent me a WhatsApp before going, mate, not taking the piss, but got another self-tape, the third one this week. Can you help me? And these are all for really, really good projects. I'll be well made up. This is good shit. So, Archie's good. He's really good. Every agent I've had on's been, is a quality agent. We don't just get anybody on. So we are going to get quite a few on Alex to answer that. I'm with the wonderful, or how do you say this? Is it or dare? Because this is Jamie's agent. Hey, Jamie, have I emailed you back? I'm going to come down and talk to Jamie's actors. I was reading your email, Jamie, about how you've set I think it's great what you and KC have done, setting this agency up. Basically, 2 actors were like, right, you know what, we're going to take our careers into our own hands, and we're going to come together as a collective of actors and create a new agency. And I think that's wicked, man. I'm all about people just taking action and just not freaking waiting. And I've had a kick up the ass this week, just in terms of, I've realised I'm 37 in a couple of months. And I'm like, God, my tea looks like urine. It's not. It's green tea. On camera, that is, for those on the audio experience. Do you know when you're 18? Is it me, or you think you think 40's it, don't you? Done, written off. That's it. Game over at 40. You might as well just forget it. I'm 37, but I don't feel anywhere freaking near it. And I'm nowhere near where like where I want to be, or like, you know, I'm more hungry now than I was at 27, at 17. You know, when you are supposed to be like, right, come on, let's get it. For those who are older than 37, does that ever stop, or do you just feel like just the same as you did, or do you feel your age? Do you feel jaded yet? If you're an actor and you've been in the industry a long time, maybe you do. That definitely happens to the best of us. All right, Linda, how you doing? Linda says doesn't have an agent. Oh my goodness, because your original agent passed away. Looking for a good agent. Well, it depends where you are in the world, Linda. It depends where you are in the country, whether you're northern or southern based. If you're in Manchester, or aren't you Scotland? I've not got a lot of knowledge on Scottish agents, to be honest, but there are lots of other Scottish people in the Act on This community. What I would do is I would post a post in the Facebook group or in the community on actonthis.tv. Just say, has anybody in Scotland got any suggestions? Isn't Meg up in Scotland somewhere? I can't remember. There's a few people though, Linda. Let us know. We'll get some suggestions for you. Andrea says, you're doing an awesome job. Thank you, Andrea. I have an agent, but I need to leave and not sure how to do that. Should I leave before I get a new one, or wait till I get a new agent? It's one of those conundrums, isn't it? And it's always like, I've only had to leave like 3 agents in my career. God, I mean, that's crazy. Isn't it? 3 in like about 20 years, 15 years professionally. It's horrible. It's always a little bit awkward. Unless like there was one agent I was with where it wasn't awkward or horrible at all, because I was like, actually, you know what? Like, I just feel that you're not taking anything I'm doing seriously whatsoever. I'm not really getting the support that I require. I don't think you really, I think they were underestimating me. And I love being underestimated, don't get me wrong. Anyone here feels underestimated, please use that as fuel. I love being the underdog. I love people not expecting all that much from me, because I'm like, bang, you just go and snooze while I work away really hard, and bang, there you go. Have a bit of that, and they're like, holy shit, really surprised at what this guy's doing. So, I love being the underdog, but I don't think the agent I was with, this is years ago when I was a kid, actually, wasn't for me, and I didn't have I didn't feel any bad vibes leaving that one at all. But, you know, good agents that you've got a good relationship with, it's always difficult. It's always easier to get an agent to move to a new agency when you have an agent. It really is, because, you know, it proves to the new agent you're going to that someone else has already said yes and has taken a chance on you. This is just the real facts about this, and we can speak honestly and open about this because it's such a big part of the industry, and it's no different. Say I was a plumber, right, and I have to get, for my plumbing job, I have to get pipes, right, and I've had this supplier of pipes, you know, for 5 years or whatever. Initially, they were getting me loads of pipes in stock. And then you'd go, right, okay, well, you know, over the last like 2 months, it's been really difficult, you know, or maybe not 2 months, but, you know, the last year, it's been really difficult to get pipes from this guy. He's constantly selling out. Every time I ring him, there's no pipes available. This is really impacting how much money I can make and my career and how good I feel and my fulfillment and like my happiness ultimately in my job. So you know what? I'm going to have a look round and see if there's anyone else who can supply me pipes, either at a better price or more frequently. And if you're a plumber, you wouldn't give a shit about saying, Barry, listen, I'm really sorry, mate, but like, no, you know, there's no sentiment in this at all. It's not like, you know, this is nothing personal, but this guy down here can just get me a better supply of pipes, so I'm going to move. You wouldn't feel bad about that at all, but because it's like, you know, you're the product effectively, a lot of people like really freak out about it. But you must take sentiment out of business. I know actors who have stayed with agents 5, 6, 7 years, way too long than they should have done. And I have this thing of talking to Petch about it. I have this thing with everything, actually, when I'm making decisions. I spoke about it on the broadcast last week when I was buying furniture for this apartment I'm in now. When I bought it last year, I've had it a year already. You know, a year and 2 days, mental. I completed on the 8th of June last year. It's flown by. If I was looking at a sofa, right, I was looking at this sofa that I wanted, and it was quite expensive. I thought, nah, I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. I'll have a look round, and I'll have a look round. And then I looked round, and then I came back to that sofa that I wanted. It was like, oh, God, like, I keep going back to this one. But no, you know, I can't justify it. I spent all this money, forget it. Can have another look round. You go around all the others, and then you come back to that sofa again. I was like, right, this is the 3rd time my intuition and my gut has brought me back to this sofa. I'm just going to buy it, because I'm going to regret it if I don't. And I make decisions in my business, in my acting career, and everything like that. If I think of doing something 3 times, you know, you might go, oh, I'm thinking of leaving my agent. Oh, but you know what? Nah, it's okay. I'm scared of that phone call. I'm scared of that email. Forget it. And then you'll, distract yourself for 3 months. And then you might come back to it again. And then you go, oh, no, I can't do it. Or a job might come in, and that's enough to distract you. And then 6 months or another year goes down the line, and you go, oh, I'm thinking of leaving again. For me, if that's coming back, it's probably the same in relationships as well, If you're thinking of leaving your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife, I'm certainly not telling you to do that. But if you thought about it 3 times, something in that, isn't there? You've got to start listening to your heart. Get out your head. I tell a lot of actors that, get out your head, get into your heart. Your heart already knows what it wants. Sometimes you want to intellectualize it and rationalize it, and life doesn't always work that way. When you're moving agents, Andrea, basically, you want to be looking around whilst you have one. And the easiest time to change agents, this is just the reality as well, is when you have something going, in terms of if you have something on TV, you've got a part on TV that someone can watch you in right now, or you've just booked another job. If you've got a couple of jobs under your belt, like very, very recently, it's going to be a lot easier to move, because it's okay, ultimately it's a business, isn't it? A new agent's going to be how much money can I make out of Andrea? That's just it, right? That's the brutal reality of it. Again, just talk real. Andrea in the last 2 months has made $6,000 because she's booked these 2 jobs. Okay, well, that's viable, because, an agent would get 750 quid or up to 1,200 quid for that, depending on their commission rate. So they go, okay, right, well, you know what? It's worth putting a bit of time into, Andrea. So it's always easier to move when you're in something, or you've got something coming out on TV, or maybe you've just done a film that's going to come out, it's in post-production or something like that. It's hardest when you're not represented and you have nothing. That's just, it doesn't mean it's impossible at all. I started off, most people start off like that, don't they? Because they don't have an agent to begin with. And then you have to, what I did, I used class footage. When I was first getting my agent, Jane, who I'm with now, I'd left drama school, I'd done no TV, really wanted to do TV, so I started a TV acting class at a place called Act for TV in Manchester. There's lots of places now in Manchester and London for TV acting classes on a weekly basis. And I shot some scenes in class. Now, these were just shot with a really shit handy cam, just like an audition type environment, plain wall in the background, class footage, wasn't glamorous or anything like that. It's absolutely not suitable for a show reel for a casting director, but very suitable to show to an agent how you would be in an audition, because an agent just wants you to be good in auditions. They want to know that they send you off to an audition and that you're going to basically do them proud in an audition environment. So the casting director is like, right, that agent reps good clients, I'm going to go to them for more people. That's what an agent wants. So I was like, right, I've got these 3 scenes. I edited them together. I was really proud of them. I thought, you know what, they look like dog shit, but you can tell I can act in them. I think I'm pretty good in them. Cut them together. It was like a 90-second video, and I sent it out to, I think, 5 big Manchester agents, and 2 of them got back to me and went, will you come and have a brew if you want? And I went and had a brew, and I sat down with Jane in her apartment, and I was like, we just got on really, really well. And then what an agent will do then is they'll send you away, and neither of you have to say, neither of you would say then and there, like, oh yeah, I want to sign you or whatever. It's quite rare. Does happen though. But normally what would happen is you both go away, you think about it for a week, because a lot of actors just want to jump into bed with the first agent who will sign them. And so many people have been so excited about just getting an offer, and then 6 months later being like, oh yeah, it's not working. I just got so excited that anyone would have me. So I just, people settle for anything in order to say they have something. Bullshit. It's better to have nothing sometimes. Same in a lot of things in life, but yeah, so I did that. So class footage, if you don't have anything coming out on TV, or you're not going to be on a stage anywhere, class footage, really quality performances from you, that can often do the trick as well. It's great currency. When he said I had a lovely meeting with my voiceover agent the other day. Nice. My voiceover agent's just bloody incredible as well. I love them all. Loads of them. I'll be lost with that voiceover. Steve says, how am I a harsh critic? Well, because you don't seem to like anything unless it's Liam Gallagher or Manchester City, Steve. Basically, I think that's pretty much every time I hear you complaining about some sort of football thing. Andy says, with an agent, but had no work from them as of yet, as not on Spotlight. Right, okay, so that's something you've really got to prioritise. Anyone else who's not on Spotlight, it's absolutely got to be a priority. Please don't fall into this trap that, amateurs would make about going, oh, a Spotlight, yeah, it's a rip-off, is it essential? Yeah, 100%, 100%, whether you like it or not, whether you like the fact that Spotlight have a complete monopoly on this industry, forget it. You can't, you are just cutting your nose off to spite your face if you're not trying to get on Spotlight. You obviously, as well, won't get a decent agent without being on Spotlight, because Spotlight is used in 99% of instances to put briefs out for casting directors. Casting directors send their briefs out via Spotlight. It makes the submission process so much easier. So if you're not on it, your agent can't submit you for work. So most agents are going to be like, well, I can't work with you because I have no way of putting you in front of a casting director. We're not going to go back to old school times where we send emails with attached headshots or attached CVs that are all differently laid out, and it just doesn't happen. Casting is faster and faster these days. It has to be efficient. Spotlight makes it efficient. You have to pay to be on Spotlight. You have to qualify to be on Spotlight. You need 4 professional credits. You can get, if you're completely starting from scratch, you can get them in a year though. If you hustle and stop complaining, and you're going to need to get on sites like Mandy.com, Star Now. You have to take part in something like Monologue Slam. Now, a lot of people don't know, but Monologue Slam, the competition where you can go and perform a 1-minute or a 3-minute monologue, and they have different rounds in all regions of the country. That class is if you get to perform at Monologue Slam. You don't have to win, but if you get to perform at Monologue Slam, it counts as a credit for Spotlight. It says 1 done straight away by just having fun in a competition and doing a 1-minute monologue. Everyone is capable of a 1-minute monologue. So that's 1 credit. And then the other 3 you'd want to get from, low-paid theatre jobs, but they're still professional and they're still paid, maybe theatre and education. That's how Petch did it. He spoke to me about that the other day. You can go, you can go and train at a accredited drama school, and that will qualify you for Spotlight, but it's going to cost you a lot more than hustling for a year, and getting, low-paid professional jobs via those other sites. But yeah, it's not easy, but that's how, Spotlight, I guess, kind of weans out, the people who just can't be bothered, ultimately. If you really want it, then you're going to do that, and you must do that. So those who aren't on Spotlight, I'll make that like my absolute priority to go, right, within the one thing that's going to make everything else in my acting career easier is being on Spotlight. It's going to make getting an agent easier. It's going to make getting auditions easier. It's going to make promoting myself easier. It's going to just give me credibility. You need to be on it. You can't, you're not saying you can't get jobs without it, because you've obviously got to get 4 jobs without it before you can even get on it. So there's that chicken and the egg thing, but by utilizing the other pay-to-play sites, and yes, you've got to put a little bit of money in, but as we did on last week's broadcast, we looked at where people are hemorrhaging money on shit they don't need to impress other people they don't like. You don't have to go to Ibiza this summer. You don't have to drive a car with that expensive badge on it. You don't have to rent the apartment in Zone 1 in London. You can move a little bit further out. You don't have to buy a £4 Costa coffee. I'm very guilty of Costa coffees that are £4. But when times are hard, I don't do it. I just get, bit of green tea. That's all I need. So yeah, save that money. Steve Connolly, who's on here tonight, we had a chat the other night. He was spending $9.99 a month on Spotify, $7.99 a month on Netflix. People will cancel their direct debit for Spotlight before they will cancel their direct debit for Spotify. That's how fucked up people's mindset is when it comes to this. Oh no, but you know what? I need, I don't know, Stranger Things in my life. I've got to have my Netflix. Oh right, okay, but your unfulfilled life the rest of the time, that's worth saving that $7.99 a month, is it? Yeah, you've got to put money into it. Unfortunately, you can complain about it all you want, but that's just how life is. Cameron's in the house, all right? Cameron, hope you're good, man. Thank you for joining the site. Really appreciate that. Nigel's in the house as well. How you doing, Nigel? Steve Connolly says never jaded. Steve's 51. He's never jaded. Tired sometimes, but I get up twice a night to pee, and I find it hard to get back to sleep. Well, you know what, Steve? Utilise that time. You could be productive in that time. Just think, every time you get up, you could send an email to a casting director or to an agent or a producer or a director, or you could listen to a podcast on actonthis.tv, get yourself back off to sleep. Definitely. Bobby's waiting for a call from an agent this week. They seem nice from the email. Nice one, Bobby. Bobby's been hustling as well. It's a numbers game sometime as well. Bobby's a member of Acts on This, and we've been looking at the emails that he's been sending out in the private community on the website and tweaking them a little bit. And say with Meg, if she's here tonight as well. Sometimes it's easy to feel really kind of like just rejected ultimately, because you're going to be sending out, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 emails. You're going to feel really, really excited and enthused, and then 2 weeks goes by and you go, oh, I've not heard anything, or everyone's been a no. You got a standard copy and paste reply, and you're like, fuck, what am I doing wrong? Ultimately, chances are probably nothing. It's just not the right time, or there's other people like you on the books, or you've not had enough experience yet. You need some extra credits. You need to invest a little bit more in yourself and your training, put yourself out there a bit more, shoot your own material. You're all in control. That's something I realized, a few years ago. I was like, God, you know what? I am 100% responsible for my career. No one else is. My agent's not whatsoever. She's looking after 80 or 90 clients. If I'm not where I want to be, it's entirely my fault. And that's really liberating, because it's like, actually, that means I can do something about this. And I can be like, well, actually, I'm not giving all my power away and saying I'm not working because of him or her or them or the industry or how unfair it is. It's me. It's my fault. And I love taking all the blame for that, because it's like, right, power's back with me now. If it's my fault, I can do something about it. I'd recommend everybody looks at it like that. Kerry's in the house. All right, Kerry, Rich Haler from Miami's here as well. Rich, always a pleasure. I'm so happy to find you, Ross, says Kerry, and you all in here. Don't feel like I'm going insane on my own. Kerry, you're never on your own when you're in the Acts of This community. It's a family, man. It's what we're all about. And I really mean that. Like, it's really, really interesting. People will email me, and I'll email them back, and the reply I get normally is like, oh my God, like, I didn't think you were going to reply. I'm like, why? If you email somebody, I get it in this industry, a lot of the time you won't get a reply. But if you invest in this community and you're part of it, I promise you it might take 7-10 days, but you ask anybody on here who sent me an email, I will always reply. And you should all do that for each other as well. If someone asks you a question in a Facebook group or tags you in something, you must. Karma's really practical. The more people you help, the more help you will get. It's not rocket science, is it? It's funny that, isn't it? The nicer you are and the kinder you are to people, the nicer your life is, and the more things you get and the more opportunity you get. It's literally, I can't believe, people just don't get it. It's just how depth the relationship with people is so much better in this industry than width. You could know, you could recognize 100 people in this industry who have influence. But, in terms of you go, oh yeah, I was in a room with them one night. But if you walk past them in the street, they're not going to stop and say hello to you. There's a difference, I say this all the time, between, knowing people and them knowing you. You want to get to a point where people do stop because you've invested in them and you've helped them. And the more depth of relationships you can have in this industry, just the better, because you don't know, at what point people are going to be in a position to, help you out, give you an opportunity. And if you're just looking after yourself the whole way up and you're not trying to take anyone else with you, it's going to be a very, very lonely at the top, isn't it? Lonely existence. Me and Paige were coming back from London the other day, and we'd been filming what have we been doing? I think we've been filming the Round Table podcast with Lewis Arnold and Jill Halfpenny and Victor Jenkins. And we had to stand up on the way back, and we stood in this vestibule. Petch outdid himself. He went to Coach C and brought back a gin and tonic. I was like, nice one, Petch. And we were stood there, and Paul Walker, really, really high up director, he's just directing a massive Sky Atlantic drama at the moment, walked through. And we made eye contact. I was like, because I worked with him on this thing called Days Before Beauty on BBC One, like last year or the year before. Got on really well. Didn't just recognise each other, stopped and had a chat for half an hour. He went to the shop and came back. And again, it's just nurturing relationships. I don't want anything from Paul. I want to give him value if I can. But you know what? Maybe a part comes up and he's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I remember just speaking to Ross recently. He might be suitable for that. Bump, you don't know where it leads. Whereas if you don't invest in people and you don't charge people up and fill them with positivity and leave people better than you find them, you might not get that opportunity. So everywhere you go, try and lift people up. Definitely. So Kerry says, question I have an agent, but so I have an agent, but not getting auditions, not getting answers from other agents. So I'm like, okay, I should be grateful I have an agent. No, it depends. I can't leave without having another lined up, right? Well, you can, but I would say don't, because you just never know whether you get, that's the, tomorrow's going to be the day where you finally get something. And I said at the start of this broadcast, over communication is critical. Over communicate with people. If you feel you're not getting what you want out of a relationship with your agent, there is no harm in calling them up and saying, listen, if you got 10 minutes next Tuesday, I'm going to be around near the office. I'd love to pop in and just put a few questions to you, because I just want to kind of figure out if I'm doing anything wrong, if there's more I could be doing. People should be asking for their submissions off their agent every month. This is just a standard thing now that, my agent, Kat at the agency or Jane or Frankie will just send me a Spotlight breakdown. It takes them 10 seconds to get it from Spotlight. There's a button, and you just download your submissions, and they send it you as a PDF document, and you can look down exactly what you've been submitted for that month. Someone got in touch with me the other day, really surprised, said, my goodness, I got my submissions back from my agent in the last, I think he said the last year, I've been submitted for 600 things, and I'd only been seen for 2 auditions. And he was really down and dejected. He's like, oh God, I'm just rubbish. Is this the end for me? I was like, wow, that submission brief just gave you the biggest gift of your career, because you could have sailed on for the next 3 years, 5 years of your life thinking everything was okay, when actually your hit rate of submission to audition would have been like, what is that? I mean, like 1% would be 6 auditions, wouldn't it? So 0.5% is 3 auditions, and he only got 2. So less than 0.5% of stuff that he's being seen for, he's being submitted for, he's being seen for. I would want my hit rate to be roughly, I go, right, well, out of every 10 things I'm submitted for, I want to be seen for, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them. So I want like a 30% hit rate. I think that's quite reasonable. A 0.5% hit rate, it's not good, is it? Now, he's aware of that shit, though. So he can now go to his agent, right, what are we doing wrong? Or are we doing something wrong? Is the agent's relationships with the casting director good enough? Because, again, let's just be brutally honest, right? We can flower this up as much as you want. But in my life, the people I have the best relationships with, we tend to favour him, don't we? Let's just be honest. In terms of, if I go, right, I've used this painter and he's freaking brilliant, right? I know I can get him in to decorate my room and it's going to be spot on. I don't go, oh, you know what? But there's 5 decorators outside who are all giving me the CV and they're lovely. They all look like they could do it. I'm going to go, no, I'm going to go to what I want and what I know. This guy's done it before and he smashed it. So casting directors are going to go, well, this agent supplied me with fantastic actors before. I'm going to go to them because they've obviously got good taste in actors, and agents are taking on different actors all the time. So it's not just the same pool of actors all the time. The stronger the relationship, agent to casting director, I would imagine the more chance, that casting director is going to have of seeing that agent's clients. So sometimes you might be with an agent who just doesn't have that level of relationship with those casting directors. So when jobs are really, cast quickly, they're going to be like, oh, you know what, I just don't have the time to take a chance on this person. And they will take chances on people all the time. I do podcasts with casting directors all the time. They're like, look, we're obviously looking for new talent all the time, but, and Victor Jenkins said this in this upcoming podcast that I'm going to bring out when Dark Money airs on BBC One. He said, yes, I love discovering new faces, but I respect the people I've already worked with and I love working with them again. And I think that's totally legit and it's absolutely fine. That's what you want. When you're, people can complain about that and go, oh, I should be entitled to a job. Well, you know what? You're entitled to a job when you're putting up 4 million quid an episode. If you go and get 4 million out of the bank and you fund this episode, you can have a job in it. But until then, we're going to have to bank on people who we know can do a great job, or you're going to have to prove to us somehow that, you should be given a chance. And again, that's down to you and your agent. But get your submissions from your agent. See what you're being submitted for. See what you're being brought in for. And if there's a pattern where you're being subbed for a particular casting director and you're never being brought in, chances are, I don't think your agent's relationship is strong enough with that casting director. That's then down to you to nurture that relationship somehow. To send stuff out, to connect on social media, connect on Twitter, LinkedIn, go to events that those people are at, attend workshops, build rapport, add value to that person's life. You're entitled to nothing. You've got to earn it. So yeah, get those spotlight breakdowns. It's really valuable. Newsflash, guys, I've handed in my notice at my 9 till 5, says Angie. We'll be spending 3 weeks in Manchester to rehearse and perform in a play in August. We'll also be performing the play at Edinburgh Fringe. Angie, raise a glass to that. Congratulations. It's shit scary when you leave your 9 till 5. I did it 12 years ago now. And honestly, you my God, you got to leap. Is the net going to appear? Do you know what I think is going to happen? And this is just generally what happens to everybody. I think you're going to wish you just did it years ago. Everything I've done where I've really felt frightened. My biggest thing recently was buying this apartment last year. I had to put almost every penny I had in the bank down as my deposit. I mean, I was literally starting again and I ended up with just a few £100s in the bank. I shit my pants. I mean, absolutely. I was petrified. Genuinely, I was like, oh my God, I've sat on all this money. I had quite a substantial amount of money that I was sat on for a long time, and it just gave me loads of security. I thought, no, I'm going to buy a place, and I bought it. And then, like, I just got my mortgage statement, just my yearly mortgage statement a couple of days ago, because it's been a year. And I look at it and all the payments that I've made, and I just go, God, like, it's not that bad. I found a way to deal with it, to handle it. The world didn't fall in around me. I just wish I'd done it 5 years ago. And I think you're probably going to have that feeling about your job. So congrats for doing that. It's amazing. That's what a lot of people will never get to the point of doing, because fear will stop them from doing it. Sharon says, I've got an agent recall on Thursday, so you got to see an agent again. It's my first time applying for one. A total rookie to TV. Can't find an appropriate monologue. Oh, so they want you to perform something. Okay, that's interesting. It must contrast Shirley Valentine, as that's what I did last time, and they've asked for a contrast. I'm 53. Can anyone help? So can anyone, this is really important then for Sharon, can anybody suggest, I'm not hot on women's monologues for 53-year-old Sharon, I'm afraid. But can anybody listen to this on the replay, or watch on the replay, or live right now, suggest a monologue, female monologue, 53-year-old, something that's contrasting to Shirley Valentine? Or you know what, just give Sharon any suggestions, and she can just check it out and see whether it contrasts the other piece. We're not going to know the exact piece. But anybody's got any suggestions, please, put them forward. That would be super useful. It's come together community. Definitely. Ina says, respect, Angie. Bradley's in the way. Bradley's in the way, I nearly said, because your surname's Way. Bradley's in the house. All right, Bradley. Hope you're good. Are voiceover agents separate to acting agents? Yes, they are. A decent one is anyway. You'll find a lot of the boutique acting agents will try and say that they'll look after you for voice as well. The big agencies like United and Troika and Independent and stuff do have dedicated voice departments. I mean, these are the biggest agents there, though. Still, I always think it's better. I've worked in voiceover 15 years. I feel qualified to say this. I still think it's always better to have a dedicated voiceover agent, because they're working on voiceover briefs all day, every day, and most clients are going direct to exclusive voiceover agents who just deal in voiceover because they do it all day, every day. And again, they know they're going to get, like we said before with the decorator, they're going to get a freaking good voice overdone if they go to a voiceover agency. It's the difference between going to an acting agency where you go, oh, actors, oh yeah, they can do voiceover as well. Can they though? I've taken household names into the voiceover booth and they've been shocking, terrible. Because acting and voiceover is a very different skill. Actors get a little bit big for the boots and think, oh, because I can walk and talk on set, of course I can do voiceover. No, you can't. Absolutely can't. It's a completely, utterly different discipline. Very, very different. Completely different skill set. So it's always, if you want to work and you want to get really high-paid jobs in voiceover, definitely get a separate voiceover agent. Again, that's something, though, going to require a lot of work initially, getting your own work to prove to a voiceover agent that you're commercially viable. It's a different game these days, but again, you've got to pay to play. Get on the sites where you can pay to receive briefs. You've got to sit at home, bashing out demos on a microphone set up at home. You could do it on a similar one that I've got here. And then you've got to submit the demos and get work that way initially. And then you can say to an agent, listen, in the last 12 months, I've got myself 30 jobs, on voices123.com or any of these other pay-to-play sites. And then, they'll go, right, okay, potentially you're, commercially viable. We can earn money from you and you can earn money with us. But I would always get a separate voiceover agent. How much have I missed? Bradley, you've missed quite a lot, my man. You missed a good 46 minutes so far, but you can always go back and watch the replay or listen on iTunes or Spotify. Christopher Pan, how you doing, mate? Hope all is good. Brendan's here. How you doing, Brendan? Great to see you. Just in from work. Great to see you live. Great to see you join us live, Brendan. Appreciate that. Thank you for joining us on this as well. Like I say, it's had over 90. It's blown my mind. 90 sign-ups in 2 weeks. You've got to become a part of this, guys. Actsonthis.tv. Get your membership. You're letting yourself and your career down if you don't become a part of this. Everybody's jumping on it. Dawn says, The Permanent Way by David Hare. Some great monologues in there. Book £6 on Amazon. So there you go. There's a recommendation. The Permanent Way by David Hare, spelled Hare. Check that out. If you want it, you'll find a way, says Alex. Yes, Alex, that's what I was saying before. And if you want it, you'll find a way. If you don't, you find an excuse. Definitely. Bobby's on Spotlight nearly a year now. Didn't do drama school. Got the 4 credits just through luck and hard work. Do you know what, Bobby? It'd be really useful, mate, if you jumped into the private community on actsonthis.tv. There's 2 people in there right now. Chris Cook, I saw him join here before. And there's Caitlin as well in the private community. They're both looking, they're at different stages of the career, but they're both kind of starting off, just beginning, at classes and stuff, both looking to get on Spotlight. It's been 16 years since I had to get on Spotlight, so the landscape has changed a little bit. I don't think I'm really the best person to give advice to, to get on Spotlight these days. If you've done it in the last 12 months, could you write up a post in there maybe and tag Christopher Cook and Caitlin, I can't remember her surname, Caitlin in that post, just because that would really help a man. And I know you're incredibly articulate with the written word. So just let us know how you did it effectively, because Bobby's a hustler. Bobby's got like 50 credits in like the last 2 years, but he's done it all of his own back, like short films, independent stuff, low paid professional stuff. But yeah, absolutely smashing it. Had an audition for Monologue Slam, says Angie last week. Waiting to hear back. Fantastic. I'll keep everything crossed for you, Angie. Myra's in the house. Myra, thank you for dropping me the email before. Myra's just got a year's membership at actsonthis.tv. If you've gone yearly, Myra, I will refund the monthly payment you made. Not a problem. Definitely. Got all these other comments. Filter coffee from Pret's £1. If you what? Or with your own cup, it's 50p. So there you go. Forget £4 cost of coffees. If you try to save money to get on Spotlight and stuff, get to Pret. Sometimes anyone been giving anything free at Pret? I once went in and they didn't have any porridge left. And the guy said, if you come in tomorrow, you can have it for free. I thought he was joking. Genuinely thought, I was like, oh yeah, good one. Went in the day after. I was doing jury service at the time. It was horrible. Never do jury service. I mean, you can't get away with it actually, but it was horrible. I got off quite lightly actually, but I never ever want to get drawn for that again. Got free porridge though the next day. Pretty sweet. Pret do give it you for free. Definitely. What other comments have we got here? I'm sorry, I'm just missing all these. Meg is in the house. How you doing, Meg? Thank you for being here. Yeah, we were tweaking Meg's letter to agents. Been getting them ready this evening. She said to send off. So that's another thing that we do as a community in the private Facebook group. If you want to paste the email you are sending to agents and you're getting no reply, paste it together as a team. We'll tweak it. We'll see what we think. And again, there's no formula for this. And it's got to be in your voice, and you might want to say certain things, but we can mold it, between us, I think, to to a really good standard. So I think you've got a better chance of getting a reply if you haven't been already. Leroy's in the house. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. Joe Barker's here as well. Just got in from my weekly acting class. Well, what a good excuse there it is, for being a little bit late. Sam's in the house. How you doing? All these people. Andrew made it. Wraps filming in Portugal. Bloody hell, look at this. We're getting people from all around the flipping world. Hope you're well, Andrew. Hope all is good. Look at all these questions. I'm sorry I can't get to everything here. Let's have a look. Karen's in the house. How you doing? Chekhov, Cherry Orchard. A little bit of Chekhov. Did a bit of Chekhov at drama school. What do we do with Chekhov? Is Chekhov's the one where they all want to go to Moscow? Everyone's a bit depressed in every Chekhov play, aren't they? And they just want to go to Moscow. Kind of thing. Is it Three Sisters? Was that Chekhov? I think we did that. Am I getting completely mixed up? I think that was Chekhov. But yeah, check that out as well, Sharon. Did you manage to get more info and gravy for the brain? Dougal, yes. So if you're a premium member of actsonthis.tv, got loads of info and gravy for the brain, and we're going to start doing some webinars with these guys soon as well that will be completely free for you guys if you're a premium member to join, where we just explain more about the voiceover industry to you. If you go over to the members area, actsonthis.tv, you'll see it here. See the bottom there on the left hand side, it says acting resources and discounts. I'm not going to click into the bottom one there. There's a gravy for the brain one, because it's going to show you a discount code where if you're a premium member of Acts on This, you will get, basically it's £10 a month for Acts on This membership, but you'll get a 25% discount code for Gravy for the Brain, which gets you a tenner off Gravy for the Brain voiceover training. Gravy for the Brain voiceover training, without a doubt, the best in the country. It's headed up by Peter Dixon, who's the guy, the voice of the X Factor and Britain's Got Talent. I did a podcast with him very recently that in the actors section here, there's the man himself. Again, if you're a premium member, you can go and listen to Peter Dixon talk with me about the world of voiceover for about an hour and 20 minutes, ultimately how he got into it, how you get into it, what Gravy for the Brain is, his training company, lots of tips, practical advice, and 25% off Gravy for the Brain. So you'll basically, if you get that, you won't be paying anything for your Acts on This membership, because you're going to save what it's costing you on Gravy for the Brain membership. So I can't really do more for you than that, Dougal. But yeah, check it out. We will be doing some exclusive webinars where you'll be able to jump on a video call like this but it'll be a group video call, and there's those guys, Hugh and Peter, Grave for the Brain, are going to be doing a presentation, and they're going to tell you all about it. So it's pretty cool, but you'll get an invite to that if you're on the email list. Sharon Alma says lettuce and lovage, a Maggie Smith role. I've never heard of that, but I'm not a big theatre guy. I'm all TV and film. Lettuce and lovage. If that's not a typo, lettuce and lovage. There you go. Check it out. Andrew says just stand up as well as acting. Oh, do you know what? I'd love to do a bit of stand up. I don't know anything about the world of stand up, Andrew. I'm going to stay in my lane tonight. I know a lot about TV and film. I know nothing about stand up. So I'm not going to pretend to give you advice. I would imagine you must have 2 agents for that, because there's no acting agent in the land that I've ever spoke to who knows about stand-up. You're going to need a specialist comedy agent for that. And big agents do have comedy departments. So yeah, I would do a bit of research on that, but I think that's probably the way to go. God, I've got another 125 comments. I can't go through all of these. I'm so sorry. Chris is in the house. Chris, man, I saw you sign up before on Acts on This. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And it goes to everybody as well who signed up, or everyone who's been a member for ages. Please let me know if I can help you. Like, just drop me an email anytime you want. So that's cool. Ollie's here. 3 Sisters. Yeah, it was 3 Sisters. That's the one where, yeah, they all feel a bit depressed and go to Moscow. It's pretty good, though. It was funny, definitely. 3 Sisters is Chekhov. Got it. Awesome. Brennan says, thanks so much for the voiceover podcast. Learned a lot. New reel nearly done. Oh, yeah, because Brendan, you've got a great voice, man. Your reel was just... So the thing with voiceover reels, guys, if you're creating a voiceover reel, is you've got to show versatility on it. What a lot of people do when they send me the first voiceover reel is they've got 4 or 5 pieces on there, which is fine. Your voiceover reel should be really no longer than 90 seconds anyway. So you only want clips of different... You want basically, I would go this formula: 3 commercials, 2 corporate pieces, and 2 documentary pieces. So you've got 7 pieces in total. What people do, though, is they get those pieces together, they read them all, and then, ultimately, it's the same delivery on every piece, but they've just put some different music underneath it, so it sounds a little bit different, but the energy is the same. When you're doing a voiceover, you've got to think of quite a few things. Not got time to go into them tonight, really, but you've got the energy of the piece, so think about the audience you're delivering it to. Delivering your piece to, some preschool kids is going to be very different to delivering your piece to, medical students. Think of the audience. That's going to dictate the pace of the piece, the tone of the piece, the melody of the piece, and it will dictate the energy as well. So you want to show different variations in that. So the way to do that is to put contrasting pieces next to one another in your reel. So mine, for instance, starts off very high energy commercial. Then it drops to a serious corporate piece on business. Then I think it goes to like a fun documentary piece. Then it goes to a charity commercial. So it's like constantly, showing variation, but because they're contrasting next to each other, it makes you seem even more versatile. And particularly if you're clever and you get someone who's very, very good, and this is why there's only really 4 or 5 studios in the country I'd recommend you get a voiceover reel done at. I think there's only 4 or 5 people in the country who do this properly, but they will master that demo properly. Real decent sound effects, music that's very specifically chosen. That's not just, let's just grab a corporate piece off the internet and put it underneath without thinking about it. Your voiceover reel is so much more important. It's still, your acting reel is very, very important, but your voiceover reel is even more important because a lot of the time you'll never get to audition for a voiceover part. You're cast completely from your voice reel. Occasionally you'll get asked to do... I had to do a demo for this Pets at Home commercial. Just should I play it? Yeah. They did this Pets at Home commercial where I had to rap as a rapping dog. I found it on my desktop before. I almost played it out at the start of this broadcast by accident. I had to be a rapping dog. And I had to do about 6 or 7 home demos of this on this microphone that I've got here, that would go back and forth to the client before my agent, got the go-ahead that I'd been booked. It's only 30 seconds. I'll play it, yeah. It's ridiculous. For those on the audio experience, this is just me rapping. Basically, you can't see it, but there's a dog and a cat, and the cat's on the decks, and it's advertising flea treatment for your cat and your dog, and it's Little Smudge and Canine. It's ridiculous. It's 30 seconds long. See you in a sec.
This is the only scratching in my home. 2 turntables and a microphone.
My name's Little Smudge, I'm protected from fleas. Subscribe and save's the only thing I need. Once a month it lands on my doorstep. One drop measured up, there's nothing else to it. This is the only scratching in my home. No more itching and my mind is blown. Keep on top of them or they'll get everywhere. Stamp them out before it causes a nightmare. This is the only scratching I know, with a little love from pets at home. Yeah, literally ridiculous, as you can see. But we had to do a lot of demos for that because it was so specific. 9 times out of 10, you are going to get the job cast just off your voiceover reel. You're not going to have to do a demo or anything like that. So your voiceover reel has to be freaking like on point. A lot of people will spend a lot of money on a voiceover reel that sounds nice and their mum will go, "Oh, it's brilliant, darling," and then it just sits on their hard drive and it never earns them a penny. There's a lot of money in voiceover. You know, that we won't go into details. It's thousands of pounds to do a 30-second advert. Sometimes up to friends of mine, I've not had one this big, but friends of mine have been paid 25 grand for an hour for doing a voiceover for a TV advert that's been nationwide. Again, it's audacious. It's so audacious to think that like you're entitled to that or you deserve that or anything like that. It's like, fucking hell, you've really got to hustle, put the work in for years before people are going to pay you that kind of money because you've mastered that skill. And they say, science suggests you've got to put 10,000 hours into something before you become a master of it. I've done voiceover for 15 years, and I certainly could never be a rapper. I mean, listen to that. Jay-Z has got nothing to worry about. But yeah, I think sometimes actors feel entitled to work, and really it's just about the hustle and about the process and enjoying it and the grind and the adversity and facing it and smashing through it. None of us deserve 25 grand for an hour's work. It's ridiculous. But that's what you can earn when you really put yourself in it. And those jobs don't come around like every week by any means, so don't get it twisted. Danny's here. Danny Shepherd, how you doing, Danny? Good to see you, my man. Let's have a look. Brendan was saying about a bit of Shakespeare, Sharon, bit of Lady Macbeth. That's definitely a contrast to Shirley Valentine. There's quite a few other recommendations. You might want to go through the comments here, Sharon, have a look at the other recommendations that people are giving you. Bradley says he's going to be getting rid of other memberships he doesn't use anymore to join Acts on This. Do it, Bradley, honestly. And I'm certainly, I'm not pushing anyone into getting a membership. I'm not a salesman like that at all. I do feel, however, if I'm not trying to push people into it a bit, I'm doing you a disservice if you're an actor. ActsOnThis.tv, without a doubt, I spent the last 8 years of my life interviewing the biggest people in the industry. It's information that has enabled me to book 24 jobs in TV, not because there's anything special about me at all, just because I've acted on the information they've given me in these interviews, and you guys have access to that information. I don't hide it. I don't edit it. There's over 50 podcasts on there. There's like dozens of TV-style broadcast like video interviews. There's live broadcast replays. We do all this kind of stuff. We're going to have monthly live calls where we are going to start from this month with a career builder call. Well, everyone will be able to jump on a video call where we will be able to see and hear you all. You're not going to be watching me. We're all going to be on it. I'm going to present for an hour. People will be able to ask Q&A. The podcasts are now becoming interactive. From tomorrow, like I say, I'm going to have people phoning in to speak to Archie Purnell, the agent from PHA that I've got on. There's nowhere else in the world you can get this information from for £2.50 a week, man. People are spending 10 quid on Netflix and 10 quid on Spotify, and then they're hating their lives and they're miserable because they're getting nowhere in their acting career. How about you don't watch Game of Thrones? You listen to 6 hours worth of these podcasts for £2.50 a week, and you start making progress in your career. You can afford what you want then. Definitely. So do it, Bradley. That's awesome, man. Danny's who you try to look for, Danny? Danny's looking for a particular casting director's email address. Tell me who it is, Danny. I'm sure I can help you, mate. If it's a TV casting director, I can help you. If it's a theatre casting director, mate, I say I'm staying in my lane. It's called Acts on This, the TV Actors Network, because that's what I specialise in. I don't know anything to do with the theatre world at all. Jason Broderick's very good if you want to learn more about theatre. Danny will post late. Oh, we'll post later. Okay, no problem. Well, yeah, let me know if it's Joanne Moss. No, but I can show you Joe's Twitter. Let me just have a look. I think Joanne's is going to be an ITV address. Let's see if she's on the Casting Directors Guild site. You have to bear with me 1 second, man. I'm going to just look it up a sec and just see if she's part of the CDG. Let's have a look. Oh, it loads very slowly, the CDG. If anybody else has got it, PM Danny on Facebook or in the premium community, and that's on this.tv. Just bear with a second, mate. It's just loading. I don't know if Joe is a CDG member, but it could well be, because their email address will be listed in the directory. Let's just search for Joanne. Let's see. No, so it's not on there. But I can tell you, if you want to get in touch and you just want to, touch base, let me find Joe. In fact, let me share my screen with you. So if you go to... If you go to, this is for everybody, if you go actonthis.tv/Twitter, just whack your email address in. I'm going to send you a list of casting directors to follow on Twitter. These are 33 casting directors everybody should be following. 1,000 people have claimed this in like the last week. Over 1,000, so you should get this. You don't want to fall behind with this kind of knowledge. I'm going to share my screen with you. So you fill your email address in, and then you'll see here, these are people's Twitter handles. You click the buttons to follow them on Twitter. It's also got what they're known for, so what they cast, and then it's got a link to their casting director's guild profile where you will find their email address. I don't think Joe's on here, because there's Joe on the right hand side. She's not got a casting director's guild profile, so I don't have her email address, unfortunately, but there is her Twitter handle. So if you go to @onthis.tv/Twitter, put your name and email address in, and it'll just send you this. You'll get a link with this to your inbox, to your email address. You can definitely, touch base with. I would just tweet her and go, Joe, would love it if you could send you a reel or something like that. Just go, Joe, would love to send you my reel. Do you have an email address? Do you have I always say this, what's the best email address? I don't say, have you got one? I just presume people are going to give it me. So if I said, who we got now? Danny, I want to send you this, mate. What's the best email address? You're probably more likely to give me your email address. And I went, Danny, have you got an email address I can send you this to? You might go, oh, mate, yeah, I'm just not, I've locked myself out of it for now on some bullshit reason. I don't know. Just go, what's the best email address to get you on? And people will generally, they'll give you an email address. That's what I always do. There's some other great words if you want to get what you want. Someone taught me many years ago that I've implemented into my life when I'm getting hotel upgrades and plane upgrades and stuff. Don't say, can I have? Never say, can I have? Always say, what are the chances of? Because it's never going to be a yes or a no answer. It almost throws the gauntlet down to the person who is helping you to try and make something happen. They always go, oh, slim, I'll see what I can do. So I've had upgrades on so many times, so many different things by just saying, what are the chances of? Like, that's just a hack of life, right? Use that. Pass it on. What mic are you using there? Says Chris. I'm using something called a Rode Podcaster. Rode sponsor actonthis.tv. They're fantastic. They're an Australian company. A guy called Peter Friedman owns the company, and he's been an absolute incredible supporter of everything that I've done, to the point where he's made me 4 microphones where I couldn't get them in stock, and I needed them for a round table I was doing a few weeks ago. He made them for me in his factory because it's all manufactured in-house for free. He posted to me from Australia within 48 hours, and the guy didn't charge me a thing. He's an absolute freaking legend. Rode are just brilliant. I would be like, anybody in any microphones, not just because they've helped me out, like the quality of the stuff is amazing. Buy Rode. I will never buy another brand of microphone ever. Definitely. Everyone's talking about the rapping dog. I'm so sorry I can't get to all these comments. There's so many, and there's still more. Where do I put my email address? So Adam, go to actonthis.tv/Twitter, and then on the right hand side you'll see a little box. It says name and email address. I'm not going to spam you. You'll get some Acton related emails, but just put your name and email address there, and you'll instantly get an email with a link to it. It'll just say, hey, thanks for claiming it. Here's a link, and it'll just take you to that page. Just follow everyone on it. Like, honestly, you really must. They're like quality people on that list, and they're people that people just don't. And they're also casting associates as well. Everyone wants to follow just the casting directors. It's not great. It's good. It's not the best. It's not the best tactics. You want to also follow the casting associates. It's easier to get your shit in front of a casting associate who works with the casting directors, who are the casting directors of tomorrow. but you want to network with the casting associates because they're really, they're like the next generation of casting directors, and a lot of directors work with them just as much as the casting directors themselves. In this upcoming interview I've got with Lewis Arnold and Victor Jenkins and Jill Halfpenny on Dark Money, they talk about that in there. Seth Mason is Victor's casting associate, and Lewis works with him just as much. I'll play you the. Have I got the trailer? I've got the trailer for this. This isn't out until later this month, but this is for all premium members of actonthis.tv. A great round table with one of the biggest casting directors in the country, one of the biggest actresses, and one of the biggest directors. You're going to love this. It's all based around a BBC drama that's not out yet. It's called Dark Money, out this month.
And sometimes you've done a good audition. You can see the look on the director's face that you've done a good audition, and you also know you haven't got the part.
Welcome everybody to a very special episode of Watch Ross, the Dark Money Round Table. By the time this hits YouTube, hopefully you guys will have just spent the last 4 nights fully engrossed in a brand new BBC drama called Dark Money. Jill Halfpenny in the house, how are you? Awesome to see you. Victor Jenkins, casting extraordinaire, in the house. Lewis Arnold, director legend, in the house. Are you just going off? Look how excited they are.
The way Victor usually works is he brings a small group of people that he thinks are perfect for it, and then those people know it's only a small group of people you're seeing.
Right.
And then you meet those people in the room, and you know, if you have to see more, you see more, but you know, you try to be much more targeted.
Yeah. What was your gut telling you when you left?
I didn't think I had it.
Really?
And I'll tell you why.
Oh, leave it on a cliffhanger. Jill didn't think she'd got the part in Dark Money, and she tells you why in that podcast. Those 4 microphones you see us speaking into there were the 4 that Peter made for me, from Rode. Couldn't get them anywhere in the UK, anywhere in Germany, anywhere in Australia. He made them, tested them, and sent them over within 2 days. Absolute ledge. So yeah, that's going to be out for premium members of actonthis.tv later this month. Dark Money comes out over 4 nights. It's 4 nights consecutively on BBC One, and then at 10:01 after the last episode goes out, I'm going to put that podcast out where you're going to hear how they cast it, how they direct. Lewis directed it. Everything from Jill about being in it, and how you ultimately can be seen for stuff like that as well. Awesome podcast. Sorry to ask, when are you next meeting? I'll try and meet you all. So the Act on This TV meetups are on the first Saturday of every month. So it'll be the first Saturday of July, whenever that is. I don't know when that is so far. And they're at Home Theatre in Manchester, beautiful theatre in the cafe area there, and at Benugo Bar at the British Film Institute on South Bank in London. So it's 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. So the first Saturday of every single month. You'd be surprised how quickly that comes around as well. Every single time, people write in the comments on Facebook, oh, damn, missed it again. And they've missed it for the last 20 times. They've never been in 2 years. And it's it's not a surprise. We've been doing these every single month for 5-6 years. So people just don't, ultimately, those people just aren't putting the work in to go. They're I'd love to go if I could. Well, you can, you just couldn't be arsed. And we get a good 30, 40 people at these. They're great ways for you to communicate and network with other people, make friends. People make connections and end up putting on shows together, being in short films together. They help each other with self-tapes. They just motivate each other. They're accountability partners. Wendy brings cake. They're just brilliant events and just inspiring and motivating. You should definitely get yourself down to one of those. Not got any plans for Leeds as of yet, Sharon, but if there's people in Leeds or in different cities, and you would be happy to set up a meet-up on, in your region, you want to head that up and actually be responsible for it, I'm more than happy to create the event on the Facebook page and promote it to tell people that it's going to happen. I promise you, the first time you do it, you're going to get 3 people turning up, and you're going to be like, oh. Occasionally when I first started doing these meetups, it was me and Eric James Dean, one of the original Act on This members. He's a bit of a veteran of Act on This now. Very often, we just went every Saturday, the first Saturday of every month. It really, honestly, for the first 6 months, honest to God, it would very often be just me and him. No one else would turn up. We're talking 8 years ago. I've built this community up over the last 8 years. So that's just a lesson. Anyone, if you're trying to set anything up in this industry, be prepared for no one to give a shit about it to begin with. For years, literally, it's a fair few years before people started really taking notice of what I was doing on actonthis.tv. And it's only, if I'm honest, it's really only this year, 2019, where the site's blown up. We're getting, like I said, we're getting 90 members, 100 members every 2 weeks. I've had over 1,000 people join the email list, about 1,004 people join the email list in the last like 14 days. That's unheard of. That's never happened before. But this is 8 years, nearly 9 years to get to this point. So whenever you try to build anything, if you think it's a good idea, I mean, there comes to a point where you go, right, am I just flogging a dead horse? But if you really believe in it, stick at it, please. There'll be people who want to give up at something, but like, if you really believe you've got something to offer, stick at it. You know, your time will come. Kev says, I'm producing a movie version of The Christmas Carol. I'm looking for editors, special effects, and animators in Dublin this summer. Anyone interested? Kev, my man. Kev's flying the flag for Ireland. Yeah, let Kev know if you want to get involved with a movie version of The Christmas Carol. If you're an editor, if you do special effects, or you animate, Kev Flanagan, premium member Acts on This. You'll find him in the Facebook group, or you'll find him in the premium community on actsonthis.tv. Right, I'm going to play you one last video. I'm going to go. This has been a long broadcast, definitely. One last question. Brendan says, I live near London. What are your thoughts about contacting agents in Manchester? Is it worth it? Yeah, it's totally worth it. It's always worth a conversation. You can always say, what are your opinions? Because a lot of northern agents have London offices as well. Or at least a pretend one. They've got a London phone number that diverts to the Manchester office, but they have a presence in London ultimately. So yeah, it's definitely worth it, Brendan. Ultimately, if you're thinking of doing something, the only way, this is for all of you, the only way to know it's going to work or not is just do it. If it's something that involves, no investment of time and money and crazy things like that, I mean, that doesn't. Ring the agents up, email the agents. It's half an hour job, and it won't cost you anything. Yeah, do it. If you're thinking of doing it and your gut's going, oh, you know what, it might be worth a try, do it. Hugely appreciate it. I'm going to play you a video. I like watching some little motivational videos sometimes, and I like Will Smith's attitude to a lot of stuff in this industry. I saw a 6-minute video Will's before, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to play that out on the broadcast tonight. So I take no credit for this whatsoever. This is Will's. I have no copyright claim over this whatsoever. Please don't sue me, Facebook or anybody. It is not my video. But yeah, I'm going to play it now. I'm going to be back next Monday night. If I can do anything for anyone in the meantime, if you are a premium member of actsonthis.tv and you have your subscription, if you have a question for Archie Purnell, the agent I'm doing the podcast with tomorrow, email ross@actsonthis.tv. I will check if you're premium as well. Don't try and pull the wool over my eyes. With your question, I'm going to be putting those. I'm going to be ringing you. You need to put your phone number in it. God, I should say that. You've got to put your mobile number in with your question. And I'm going to be ringing 6 or 7 of you tomorrow night between 7 o'clock and 8:30. And we're going to be recording this podcast, but you are going to be putting your questions about the acting industry and getting an agent or changing agents or whatever you want to Archie himself. This is your opportunity to get direct access to someone who you might not be able to get direct access to any other way. I'm going to be doing this a lot more. We're going to do a lot of these kind of phone-in style podcasts. So yeah, do that if you have a question. Come and join actsonthis.tv. If you're not a member, become part of this community. Like I say, we're growing at an alarming rate now. Ultimately, you're going to get left behind. There's information shared in these podcasts that are changing people's careers. If you don't have access to it, you will be left behind. I mean, like this is just it. This is the brutal reality of it. So become a part of it, and we all help each other as well. That's the beautiful thing about this industry, and well, not the industry at all. That doesn't normally happen. About this community, is it really is. We've got a culture that's unlike, I think, what I see in many other parts of this industry, where people really do chip in and help each other. They celebrate each other's success, because, like I say, positivity and optimism. Breeding that within your life and your own culture, it leads to some fantastic things. You get so much back when you give so much out. I mean, that's just the way the world works, and so many people just don't do that in this industry. They want to hoard all the information for themselves. They don't want to help anybody. They feel if someone else has got a job and they haven't, it makes them feel like shit because they feel, oh, that's one less job for me. Well, it's not really, because are you really going to be in the same casting bracket as that person? Chances are you and your best mate are not in the same casting bracket. Celebrate other people's successes. Yeah, come and become part of the community. That's what we're all about. Andrew says, thanks, Julie, thanks for being here, thanks, Steve, thanks, Gary, Hanzala, awesome name, thanks for being here. Don't recognise the name, so thanks so much for joining us tonight. And anyone else who's like lurking and not commented, and this might be your first broadcast, huge thanks to you all for spending this time. And we do this every Monday night. Like I said, come and join the community over at actsonthis.tv, and I'm going to leave you with this video. It's only 6 minutes long. It's not great quality because a lot of it's been shot on Will Smith's phone, but it's got some powerful messages in it. I'm going to make sure I play the right video. I think it's this one. Hopefully this isn't the dog advert again. If it is the rapping dog, I'll change it. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. I'll catch you with you next Monday night, 9 p.m. If we do anything for you in the meantime, hit us up over on the premium community on the website, or hit me up on Twitter at on this TV, or Instagram, or at Ross A. Grant is my personal one as well. And I'll see you next Monday. Until then, bye for now.
You have to clear your own personal blocks, right? You have to be able to be vulnerable in front of anybody. You know, you have to be comfortable looking silly. You have to be comfortable making mistakes. And you have to break the thing inside of you that doesn't want people to see, right? Because as soon as you allow people to see, all of a sudden you get access to things that you didn't realize you had access to.
Yeah, I just saw this Rumi quote that I love. Set your life on fire and seek those who fan your flames. The Philly translation of that is, don't be hanging with no jank-ass jokers that don't help you shine. The prerequisite for spending time with any person is that they nourish and inspire you. They feed your flame. Look at your last 5 text messages. Are those people feeding your flames or dousing your fire?
So a dude screamed to me the other night, "Hey, Will, I want to be an actor, man. I want to be an actor just like you." You know, usually people say stuff to me like that. I'm like, "Yeah, man, you know, you do is give them an encouraging word." But I was just sitting here thinking, and it dawned on me, 99% of people that say stuff like that are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams come true. The Marines have a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And that's just real. At the center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. You know, something as simple as food and eating is not about your body as much as it is about your mind. It's getting command of your mind to be able to choose actions that are in your own best interest. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
Right? For example, like a thing I used to do is when I was in probably 18 or 19 years old, I got in touch with those blocks. The camera hates emotional blocks. Like you put a camera in somebody's face and they're uncomfortable about delivering the emotion. It looks fake and you feel it. You immediately know it's not real, right? Especially look at the size of this screen. And in a shot, that whole screen could be just your eyes. Right? So it's like you can't hide discomfort, uncertainty, so you have to be able to get comfortable, you know, just being anything! Anything that you have to be for the role, you have to be comfortable being it!
The people that you spend time with are going to make or break your dreams. Everybody don't deserve to be around you. You got to defend your light with your life.
I was just talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about self-esteem. And we were talking about how we tend to base our self-esteem on what other people think. And that's not really self-esteem. Self-esteem is supposed to be how we feel about ourselves. And I was just saying how dangerous it is to allow other people to determine how you're going to feel about you. And it's kind of like looking into a broken mirror. You're going to look in a broken mirror and then change your face to try to look good in this defiled, busted, broken mirror. And it just, other people's opinions is a really shitty way to determine how we feel about ourselves.
You know, but that is the part of it. And then by the same token, you have to, you know, be able to just be quiet, to be nervous, to really love someone. Really, at the end of the day, it's about finding ways, like you have to get comfortable doing it in front of your father. that block is the thing. The block that you have for your father is the block you're gonna have for the camera, is the block you're gonna have when there's a pretty girl behind the camera that's working and you want to look cool for her, you know, you don't want her to see you cry, you know, so that block, you can use your father. If he makes you uncomfortable, it's perfect. Because that's the discomfort you have to break in order to be able to bear yourself in front of the camera.